when you threw the racket. Does it concern you that one day that could cost you dearly? I mean, if the ball had hit someone today, is that something you think you ought to address?
You guys are unbelievable.
Why is it unbelievable?
Yeah, because you're always picking this kind of things. It's incredible.
You keep doing these things. You know,
I keep doing these things well. Why don't I get suspended then?
I'm saying you were close, weren't you? That's what I'm saying.
I'm close. I'm still not suspended, so if I'm not close, I'm not close.
Ball that hit a spectator, it could have been serious.
It could have been, sure. Or it could have snowed. It could have been snow in O2 Arena today, but it didn't.
So you don't think that gives you're not concerned about your mindset?
So I'm the only player that shows his frustration on the court, right? That's what you want to say. I'm the only player that is showing that. Sorry?
You're one of the top-ranked players in the world.
So
you are showing this frustration. I'm asking you, do you think it's an issue for you?
It is not an issue for me. It's not the first time that I did it.
Welcome to Zona del Tennis. Today we're diving into a side of Novak Djokovic that often makes as much noise as his tennis, his press conferences. The Serbian world #1 has built one of the most impressive careers in sports history, but he's also had to live with a complicated relationship with the media and the public. Unlike Federer or Nadal, who usually give diplomatic answers and avoid stirring controversy, Djokovic has never feared speaking bluntly, even knowing his words could unleash media storms. That sincerity, courage to some, arrogance to others, has turned each press conference into a show of its own. Today we're going to revisit 7 of Djokovic's most controversial pressers. Moments when his mouth was as much the protagonist as his racket, and when his answers became international headlines. The first major controversy came at the 2016 US Open. Djokovic had advanced in the tournament, but several journalists accused him of exaggerating physical issues to unsettle opponents. During a press conference, one of them directly suggested he called for medical timeouts as a tactic. Novak, with a steady gaze and serious expression, replied, "Do you really think I enjoy calling the physio in the middle of a match? Show some respect. I'm here to compete at the highest level, and if I need medical attention, I ask for it, period."
With the back, was that something that happened in the first set, and how concerned were you?
Yeah, it did happen. I was 5-3 up. I think it was 30-love, and it was quite an exciting point, and I was at the net, and I was kind of moving in the right direction, and I caught the ball. It just made a quick move and reaction, and I felt the left side of my back. And I finished that game, and I just felt like I needed treatment. And again, I told Cameron at the net, I don't want to, I don't know if he thinks that I was doing that on purpose to bother him or not, because it's absolutely was not my intention. But I felt like I needed that treatment, and I felt better after that, when the meds kicked in as well. I don't know, when it gets cold tomorrow, I'll see what the reality is. But yeah, I was lucky not to, have that burden stay there. It was just there for a few games, and after that it was fine.
That exchange went viral within hours. For many fans, it confirmed that Djokovic plays to the limit, even psychologically. For others, it was an unfair attack on an athlete who had proven his physical resilience countless times. That presser marked a before and after in his relationship with the New York media. Every time he called the physio on court, cameras hunted for his reaction, and social media exploded with debate over strategy versus genuine need. The second scene came after one of the most memorable finals in history, Wimbledon 2019. Djokovic had just beaten Roger Federer in a marathon, nearly 5-hour match, decided in the tournament's first ever 12-12 final set tiebreak. While most questions praised his achievement, a journalist asked him directly how it felt not to be as loved as Federer or Nadal. Djokovic, who had endured a crowd largely backing his rival, didn't hesitate. "I don't seek everyone's love. I know the crowd isn't always with me, but I use it as motivation. When they shout Roger, I hear Novak."
And how does the absence of a big crowd atmosphere affect your actions on the court?
Well, the intensity, it was there, definitely. I mean, I came out, played really well the first set. Second set, I lost my focus and kind of got stressed out a couple of times and screamed. So that's obviously still there, regardless of the empty stadium. But this is what I bring to the court. I bring a lot of intensity and energy, and sometimes sometimes my reactions may not be so positive, but I try to bounce back, and you know, it was tough. I mean, second set, there was a lot of long rallies, and he was not missing much, so it was kind of anybody's game. But you know, we're all trying to get used to these kind of circumstances. You know, having big LED screens on the side and kind of behind the court, and you know, obviously seeing the rest of my team and my family and my friends on the screen tonight was a delight. Truly, it was really nice. It brought a smile to my face and kind of motivated me to keep on playing well. And you know, I was speaking with USTA people. They still did not clarify and determine when are they going to switch on the screens, whether it's going to be after points, games, and sets or stuff. So they are kind of testing it out. I think it was fine. You know, it was not bothering us players, obviously, serving or playing. So I think most importantly, not during play, and it was fine. It was not hindering the play. So at least you get a sense that they're with you, you know, virtually. I mean, you know, we were trying to make the most out of this situation. Obviously, the players, USTA, everyone involved in the organization. I mean, it's definitely not easy, but everyone is trying their best.
The line stuck forever. Some took it as arrogance, others as a sign of unparalleled mental strength. It summed up his ability to flip adversity. Djokovic not only beat Federer on court, he psychologically flipped a stadium that seemed against him. That presser showed Novak had no problem acknowledging the obvious. He wasn't as popular, but he didn't need to be to keep winning. The third controversial moment came in 2020 with the Adria Tour, an exhibition organized by Djokovic in the middle of the pandemic. The event, crowds without masks, players hugging and celebrating, ended in scandal when several participants, including Novak himself, tested positive for COVID-19. In the subsequent press conference, Djokovic defended the initiative. "We did the best we could with the information we had. Maybe it was rushed, but my intention was always positive. I wanted to bring joy to people in a difficult time."
No, look, you know, it's nothing that really stands out or extraordinary. You know, every match something different happens, but you know, this was, I already explained myself. The reason why I wasn't giving an interview is not for the crowd, it was for the Channel 9 situation, yeah.
Novak, we saw on some of the vision from underneath you in a conversation with Craig Tiley. Can you shed any light on that?
It's exactly what I told you. That's what I told him, because I haven't seen him since that happened, and he was communicating with my agent and my team. So I just wanted to make sure, as I have a really nice relationship with Craig, and I think he's a phenomenal guy that always tries to help players and understand the players' needs or demands. And so I just wanted to make sure that he knows where I stand and the reasons behind it. So I told him, you know, if you guys want to find me for not giving an on-court interview, that's okay. I'll accept that, because I feel like this is something that needs to be done, and that's all there is to it. That's all.
His words were met with skepticism. For many, it sounded like an excuse and a refusal to take responsibility. For others, it was a sincere attempt to explain there was no ill intent. Either way, that presser marked one of the lowest points of his public image. The Serb went from hero to villain in days, and his statements were dissected to the last syllable. The fourth controversy arrived at the 2021 Australian Open, when Djokovic was accused of sending a list of demands to organizers to improve quarantine conditions for players. The Australian press hammered him, branding him spoiled and out of touch. In his press conference, Novak, serious and visibly uncomfortable, clarified, "I didn't make demands. They were suggestions. Some media twisted what I said and used it against me. I only wanted to help the other players."
This is what he had to say in the press conference after the match. When asked about why he didn't do the interview, he said a journalist who works for Channel 9 in Australia made a mockery of Serbian fans and made insulting and offensive comments towards me. Neither him or Channel 9 issued an apology. So since they're official broadcasters, I chose not to give interviews for Channel 9. I have nothing against Jim Courier and neither the Australian public. It was a very awkward situation for me to face on the court today. It's unfortunate I chose to say something to the crowd, but obviously wasn't the time and space or situation for me to explain what I'm doing right now. I leave it to Channel 9 to handle this the way they think they see fit. So what actually happened a couple of days ago was on live TV on Channel 9, which is an Australian TV channel, one of the broadcasters was actually standing at the Australian Open with the Serbians behind him, and he said, Novak, he's overrated. Novak's a has-been. Novak, kick him out. That's what Djokovic took offense to.
The statement revealed his frustration with the press, convinced there was a double standard compared with Federer or Nadal. It reinforced the narrative of Djokovic as misunderstood and reignited the debate over whether he's a victim of media bias or gets himself into trouble with the way he communicates. The fifth moment was undoubtedly one of the most notorious of his career, the 2020 US Open, when he was defaulted after unintentionally hitting a line judge with a ball. In the moment, he left without speaking, which drew even more criticism. The next day, he held a press conference and was visibly affected. I feel sad, empty. It was an accident, but I have to accept the consequences. It wasn't my intention, but I made a mistake. I'll learn from this. Though his words sounded sincere.
When you threw the racket, does it concern you that one day that could cost you dearly? I mean, if the ball had hit someone today, is that something you think you ought to address?
You guys are unbelievable.
Why is it unbelievable?
Yeah, because you're always picking this kind of things. It's incredible.
You keep doing these things. You know, that's
I keep doing these things well. Why don't I get suspended then?
I'm saying you were close, weren't you? That's what I'm saying.
I'm close. I'm still not suspended, so if I'm not close, I'm not close.
Ball that hit a spectator, it could have been serious.
It could have been, sure. Or it could have snowed. It could have been snow in O2 Arena today, but it didn't.
So you don't think that gives you're not concerned about your mindset?
So I'm the only player that shows his frustration on the court, right? That's what you want to say. I'm the only player that is showing that.
You
that
are
is
showing those.
Sorry?
You're one of the top-ranked players in the world.
So
you are showing this frustration. I'm asking you, do you think it's an issue for you?
it is not an issue for me. It's not the first time that I did it.
Next question, please.
Many questioned him for not facing the music immediately. That presser showed a champion's fragility at his lowest point, a human Djokovic aware of his mistakes but exposed to a level of scrutiny few athletes on earth endure. The sixth controversial presser came in 2022, when he couldn't compete at the Australian Open due to his refusal to get vaccinated against COVID-19. The issue went beyond tennis and became a global political and social matter. Amid the uproar, Djokovic said, "I'm willing to skip tournaments if I'm forced to get vaccinated. That's the price I'm willing to pay."
Well, you're right. As of today, I am, I'm not allowed to enter states under these circumstances. So, yes, of course, I'm aware of that, and that is an extra motivation to do well here. So hopefully, I can have a very good tournament as I have done in the last 3 editions, and then I'll just have to wait and see. I'd love to go to states, but as of today, that's not possible, and there's not much I can do anymore. I mean, it's really up to the U.S. government to make a decision whether or not they allow unvaccinated people to go into the country.
In the press room, every word was dissected. For some, it was a gesture of consistency and principle. For others, an irresponsibility that endangered public health. That press conference wasn't merely about sport. It was an ideological battleground. Djokovic stood at the center of a storm involving governments, health organizations, and millions of fans. The 7th press conference we recall took place at Roland Garros 2023, when after a match he wrote on the camera, "Kosovo is the heart of Serbia." Asked by journalists, Djokovic stood firm. "I will never stop saying what I think. I am a man of principles before I am an athlete."
I'm gonna need Taylor Fritz to start calling me his daddy from now on, because I own him and he is my son. I am your daddy, Taylor, don't forget that. I am now 11-0 against him. Even though I'm a decade older and I'm washed as hell, I still beat him easily. And tonight, I spanked him in front of his home crowd and in Diddy's home state of New York. And to be honest, this is my most favorite crowd because I can easily rage bait these clowns every time I play here. I own all these players from the USA. It's time for them to put their rackets down and go play basketball, something they're actually good at. And now I'm going to go get my cheeks rammed in by that bald head Carlos Alcaraz. I stand no chance against him if I have to be completely honest. It's going to take a miracle. His bald ass haircut might be awful, but he can swing that racket, I'll tell you that much. I might have to have a talk with Sinner's pharmacist if I want to at least have a chance of reaching the finals, because Sinner is out here pounding every player like he's playing against kids. He is definitely a fake natty.
His words sparked mixed reactions. Some applauded him for defending his roots and national identity. Others criticized him for mixing politics and sport on such a global stage. That presser showed Djokovic doesn't hide, even on the most delicate ground, and that he's willing to bear the cost of his statements, knowing they'll place him in the eye of the storm. Looking back at these 7 press conferences, it's clear Djokovic isn't a player of empty speeches. He can be loved or hated, but never ignored. Each of these conferences reflects his contradictions. A champion who seeks recognition yet rejects the favorite's role. A man striving to be understood who fires back sharply at journalists. An athlete who seems indestructible on court but shows vulnerability off it. Here's the final thought. Maybe these controversial pressers explain why Djokovic has always had such a complex relationship with the public. While Federer and Nadal built near-perfect images, Novak chose the path of authenticity, with its light and its shadow. That authenticity has caused problems, but it has also humanized him, and though many criticize him, it's also part of what makes him great. He hasn't just beaten rivals on the court, he's had to contend with a hostile narrative for much of his career. Now it's your turn. Do you think Djokovic is treated unfairly by the press? Or does he bring these problems on himself with the way he answers? Are these press conferences a sign of courage, sincerity, or arrogance? Drop your take in the comments and let's debate. This was Zona del Tennis. Don't forget to subscribe for more stories, controversies, and analysis from the world of tennis.